I now call on Deputy Sean Kenny, sharing time with Deputy Olivia Mitchell. 10 minutes each.
Thank you, Cancorla. I welcome the bill, which provides for a number of measures to improve safety on our roads, and it will have implications for all drivers. The legislation introduces measures towards the completion of a graduated driver licensing system. A new category of novice driver is introduced with provision that novices will be required to display a distinguishing N plate along the lines of the current L plates. Novice and learner drivers will also face a lower penalty point disqualification threshold. In future, learner drivers will have to record a minimum amount of accompanied driving before being permitted to take the driving test. The new novice driver category will be defined as a person being a driver during the first 2 years after qualifying for a full driving licence. A period of disqualification or ceasing to hold a licence is not counted as part of the 2 years as a novice. The use of an N plate by novice drivers or an N tabard in the case of novice motorcyclists will be required to demonstrate to other road users the novice status of the driver in question. It will be an offence not to display an N plate or an N tabard. This legislation will also give authority to the Minister for Transport to allow, subject to conditions which the Minister may set, that vehicle insurers will have access to endorsements on a person's entry on the National Vehicle Driver File. This is an amended version of a provision made in the Road Traffic Act 2010. There is also, as part of this legislation, a new requirement that a learner driver must have a minimum period of accompanied driving recorded before they are permitted to take the driving test. If a person presents for a test without the appropriately completed record, they will be refused a test and will forfeit the test fee. There is also a change of procedure following conviction and disqualification of a driver, so that particulars of the disqualification, rather than the particulars of both disqualification and the conviction, will be communicated to the National Vehicle and Driver File. This reflects a change in policy in relation to recording other criminal offences where a mechanically propelled vehicle was used in the commission of those offences onto the driver licence record. There will also be a new power of arrest for a member of An Garda Síochána in cases where an individual who has been disqualified from holding a licence is detected driving. I want to turn to the issue of intoxicated driving offences. This bill makes provision to test incapacitated drivers for intoxication following a road traffic collision where death or injury has occurred. Section 11 of the Road Traffic Act 2010 is amended with this legislation in order to provide for intoxication impairment testing, and I welcome this. This replaces and represents a significant advance on measures in the Road Traffic Act 2010 which were never commenced due to the advancement of policy in this area. Members of An Garda Síochána will now be empowered to require people driving or attempting to drive a mechanically propelled vehicle in a public place to undertake intoxication impairment testing. This involves non-technology-based cognitive testing such as walking a straight line, tipping one's nose, counting while standing on one leg and the like. The results of these tests may be used in evidence in support of the Garda forming an opinion that a person is intoxicated. The Minister will be empowered to prescribe in regulations the nature of the tests and their manner of administration, as well as a form for recording the observations made during the tests. It will be deemed an offence to fail to comply with the requirement to undergo intoxication impairment testing. A new power of arrest will be created for use in the case of an offence under this section. Section 12 of the bill amends the Road Traffic Act 2010 to allow for the taking, subject to medical approval, of a specimen of blood from an incapacitated or unconscious person following a road traffic collision involving death or injury. The legislation will also make provision for the procedures that has to be followed where a specimen has been taken from an incapacitated driver and that driver has subsequently regained capacity. The person in question will be required to give consent to the issuing by the Medical Bureau of Road Safety of a certificate certifying the result of analysis of the specimen. Failure to consent will be an offence. This puts incapacitated drivers as nearly as possible on a par with drivers who are not incapacitated. I must say I am impressed with all these provisions of the bill, and it is clear that a lot of work has been done to amend other pieces of legislation to ensure consistency. I think they are tough and uncompromising, and I welcome this. Our roads have to be made safer for everyone, and one way of making that happen is to ensure that justice will be able to be done in the event of proven wrongdoing. Thank you.